So good afternoon and welcome to what we used to be called, and I'm allowed to say this because I get fined for saying this. Anyone says RPA Supervisor gets fined, but that's what we used to be called. Now it's new C2. And we've got a great, like I said, lineup for you. You can see some great names out there, some great clients are going to be talking about all sorts of topics, interesting topics to do with intelligent automation and so on. But before we start, I'm sure you're all curious, why C2? Where's that name come from? What does it mean? And all that kind of stuff. Well, I'm going to introduce two gentlemen on stage who are going to explain all of that, from why we've rebranded to that name, and then going to announce some very exciting stuff in the next, I guess, half an hour. So please give a warm welcome to Malkoch from Unite BT and our CEO, Eric Leon.
Is this on? Well, this feels like a success already. I was going to bring on Marcos later as a surprise, but Homan is always early and eager. Well, welcome to our first Client Connect. I know we've got lots of partners here as well, and we rely on them, so they're also welcome. And well done for those who didn't turn around in the corridor when there was no RPA Supervisor signs around. I think I might get a few fines during the speech, but I will try to stick to C2. And anyone who doesn't work in C2 will not get any fines. So on, without you knowing, you're part of our rebrand event. So before, like Homer said, before we come to the all-important drinking and mingling, we've got an exciting program for you. We've also got lots of representatives from C2 here. If you do have any questions later on, I think we will set up so you can also have a look into the application itself, for those who haven't seen it, or those who want to see what's new on it. But before you get to the important stuff, I'd like to take the opportunity to share why we're changing name, because we were quite happy with RPA Supervisor. Let's see if I can get this to work. It's something we've built up to, changing the name. It's been coming for some time. We spent much of last year preparing for this, both on the technical side and in our organization, building it up to take full advantage and go beyond RPA, which is the reason we're changing names. RPA Supervisor did tell everyone what we're doing. I know some people loved it, some people hated it. Partners mostly hated it because RPA wasn't always the most sexy thing. See this just happen every time.
He's not doing the technology.
No, it is. This is true. So what we've done, we've been managing RPA, very efficient, creating some insight and control and orchestration of it. Now we want to move beyond RPA to become a true intelligent automation management platform. So we're not trying to automate tasks for you, except for the management of all of your intelligent automation. I've not done much public speaking, so I do have to cheat every now and then. But the name C2 was chosen through a process, not like RPA Supervisor, which just told everyone what we did. But C2 was meant to explain or talk to what we do, but as much who we are as an organization. And we exist, in essence, to help the world automate more work. And we do it by building the best intelligent automation management solution possible. Now, as the world automates more and more, C2 makes that automation work. And we do that by providing a command and control center, which is actually a military term C2 for Command and Control Center. So that explains what we do. For us, and well, the whole company, I think, but for my co-founders, Anders and Tobias, who are around. So any technical questions, you should ask them. It's also important who we are and how we do it. And so the 3 core values that we hold so dear and that we sort of imprint in the organization. The first one is automationist. Now, that's not really a word yet. I think it will be. And an automationist is someone who sees it as his or her duty to automate more. And we automate more to make humans more human and focus on what humans are good at. And human is our second core value. Human is, of course, caring about each other. We're a remote-first organization, but we're still working hard to stay close, to care about each other, support each other, and work in collaboration, like humans, so internally and externally. And we've got lots of good examples of that. But it's also a reference to the immortal classic from The Killers, Are We Human or Are We Dancer? And I don't know if everyone knows it, but that's again a reference to something else. But the idea of a dancer is a conformist, someone who does not step out of line, does not try anything new, and so on. And that's not us. We love to think outside the box, find solutions that might mean we need to take a chance, and so on. Which takes us to the last of our core values, which is problem solvers. We love solving problems, more so if the solution to the problem is outside the box, and best of all is if we can do it together with you, our customers and partners. Talking to customers and solving problem, the quote, I mean, all vendors try to get quotes from their customers. The quote I hear most often, and the one I love the most, is "It just works." And from having tried to scale and operate automations myself over many years, I know what that means, because it's hard work. And when someone says it just works, I know we've made it. We got it, we fixed it, or as we now say, we just see to it. So that's the part of how C2 works with who we are. And I'm sure during the day you'll be tired of hearing see to it. And also, we've got a code word, so I'll share a secret, because we've got a code word in C2 now to make sure you get priority and focus. So if you send an email, so if you want the attention of me, but it works with everyone in the company, with the heading, Eric, or Holman, or probably Adrian, see to it, then you've got our undivided attention. But don't share it with anyone, please. So for all of you who know us as RPA Supervisor, we're not stopping our focus on what we do with for RPA and automation. So I want to quickly share some of that. We talked to 4 major features that we've got. Intelligent orchestration. It's basically SLA orchestration on all of the work based on the workload available. What I think is interesting or rewarding with C2, and when we talk to customers, is how they focus on different elements of it and how they use it to their advantage to solve their problems. So, for instance, BNP Paribas used our intelligent orchestration to average a 97% utilization of their RPA licenses, which I think is just insane. I mean, it's an insane thing to be able to do. But I don't think it's the best outcome, because you want to have more capacity. Oh, my notes died. You want to have more capacity, and I know that they have since focused more on outcomes or speed of delivery in addition to that utilization. Yeah, so that's how BNL managed to optimize for what they were measured on, and high license utilization was one of it. We've got a US mortgage lending company who bought C2 for the sole purpose of reducing the number of licenses. Now, within a couple of months, they realized that with the SLA setup, they could reduce processing time for mortgage applications from 4 hours something to less than 10 minutes, between 5 and 10 minutes, which just generates so much more customers that the license cost doesn't even come into it. It didn't just pay for C2, it paid for their whole automation program and more. So they doubled their number of licenses and focused on speed to market work. Cisco in the US uses it to dynamically scale up and down on their VDIs, which is very cool. Got automated operations to make sure your RPA setup runs or estate runs 24/7 with no interruptions. So the resilience that comes with that and the intelligent orchestration is, I think, will be or is already more important and more valuable than the savings in license and human efforts to monitor your robots. Now, Peter from Lloyd's was I think the first and the only customer who realized that during the pilot phase. Piloting just saw this just keeps everything up and running, which is worth more than that. And I'm glad we discovered that before we negotiated any price. Digital Workforce is our first managed service provider to hook onto this, combine the two to manage tens and tens of automation estates with a minimum setup of resources. New Day did, within a couple of weeks, they changed their operating model or their support setup. So they didn't have anyone to mind the robots on the weekends, and they got 24/7. And it also made the life of the operations team a lot easier. Insight and analytics, I think, is one of the most underused features for most of our clients. I don't know why. We've had some discussions with others earlier today, but A1 Telecoms in the DACH region, they give an access to the dashboard to the whole organization. So not just the automation teams, or the heads, everyone in the organization have full insight into what the robots are doing. Kimberly-Clark used the information they had to right-size their environment, so to perfectly balance it between license utilization and the number of licenses needed. And there's lots of feedback on customers who now don't have to answer why is my robot down, what's it doing, what hasn't it done, when will it do it, and so on, because it's just there, available all day. Integration Hub is our fourth main feature that we've been talking about and offering for a long time, and where we see more and more uptake, and customers are integrating and doing some really, really cool stuff with that. ATP has done a huge effort on the human in the loop to provide end-to-end processing to make sure it all flows from not just what the robots are doing, but any exceptions, they can fix it easily, and they can do approvals and so on. Yara, who is maybe not a household name, they run operations in 120 plus countries. They've gone big on integrating with Power Automate and Power Apps. And I know he's a bit of a techie, and he loves to talk about it, so I'm sure we can introduce you guys if you want to learn more. The Norwegian Royal Mail, or the equivalent, has integrated with digital assistants. BBL, another customer in Norway, using it for intelligent document processing and OCR. So we'll keep doing all of this, and we'll try to do it, we won't try, we'll do it better. We'll increase on the capabilities and make it more efficient as we go. And for that, we thank you for all the feedback we're getting on improving. But we're also doing new stuff. I just want to say something about, so 2022 for us was a year of growth in terms of the organization and our capabilities, and with that comes, I guess, growing pain. It was still a good year for us in all respects, but now we sort of reap the benefits of building out our engineering team, our customer success team, sales team. We're scaling in the US. So the year of the 2023 will be the year of C2. So we've already put out Automation Anywhere integration. So that's out now. What we're bringing out today and over the next day is, not to forget, new and improved user experience and design. I don't know where we're setting up so you can see the designs.
Directly across the hall.
The other room across the hall. There's lots of improvements in general user experience, and I do like the new design of it, and I particularly love the dark mode because I'm a tech nerd. Well, you wouldn't believe it just looking at me, but it looks very cool. But more importantly, we're moving into the end-to-end process management even more than you've been able to now, and we do that by providing multi-environment support. So for any technology, so you can have multiple instances of the different RPA tools out there. So you can have multiple instances of Blue Prism, or you can have a combination of the different ones. But it also lends itself to integrate with non-RPA technologies, especially in combination with what we've so far called universal queuing. So we get our own queuing system, so you can integrate with. So one of my favorite things about RPA, in addition to that it's easy and quick to develop new processes, is the fact that you can follow an item of work from start to finish. Now, unfortunately, with RPA, that start is almost never the real start, and the end is almost never the real end of the whole process. Now, with a queuing system, you can track items of work from start to finish, regardless of which systems, human in the loop or other manual work it's going through. Even if it's not, strictly speaking, orchestrated by C2, we'll be able to report on it, and we'll be able to create workflow SLAs. So not task-by-task SLAs, but workflow SLAs to optimize and make it easier to use. And then we're improving on our dynamic scaling so that you can scale up and down on your VDIs. Cool. C2 Cloud is, we call it Cloud First, but it's not really, because we're all about helping, and we don't want to force you into an infrastructure that you don't want. So what this means is everything we build will be available in the cloud. It will also be available on-prem and any hybrid between those. So you can have some of the elements in the cloud, some on-prem, some on someone else's cloud. They all interact. And we're building a portal. Now that will be in the cloud, but it's not what we mean by cloud. And the cloud offering, just make sure I don't get this wrong, means we can provide so uptime monitoring. So if you connect your on-prem solution to our portal, it will ping it, and then when it doesn't ping, we can set up notifications to warn you that there might be a problem with your infrastructure. We're building a benchmarking solution so that you can benchmark against everyone else who's doing automation. Maybe you find out where areas you can focus on or opportunities you've got, Or you get bragging rights, which is always good. As part of, there'll be an integrations library, so connector library, to connect to other elements. We'll also build and set up endpoints there so that you can, from your on-prem solutions, you can connect to other cloud services through our endpoint. You can also create a direct link if you want. C2 Connect, this is the first part of it. It will also be on the portal, of course. We'll build a community there, and we'll make sure to have a lot more events and special deep dive sessions, probably most of them webinars, record them and make them available to you. But also it's important, I think, from what we see in all the stories we get from customers and how they use it and how they get benefit, being able to share that and share solutions to problems, I think is going to be massively useful for you going forward. The one thing we're not releasing now that I know a lot of you are interested in is the PowerAuth desktop integration. But it's not far off. I'm going to say after summer, which isn't probably July, but it's sometime after summer. Which, in combination with multi-environment, the queuing, means you can all go multi-vendor without having the cost of operating in different environments and controlling, keeping up to track on your automations. So that's what we've got of new stuff. I hope that makes sense. I mean, we'll be around to talk in more depth if you want. We're happy to set up meetings, of course, as well. So for all our existing customers, I really want to thank you for letting us help you automate more and for letting us share your stories. I'd like to, I think, quote the late, great Steve Jobs, but wait, there's more. What else can we build? So what we've done is we've taken all of the success stories from all of our customers, added a few of our own, and we've created what we call C2 Squared. So it's all of this on a platform, easy to consume, and it's pure consumption-based. It's a fully managed intelligent automation service. And to do that, we've teamed up. Now my notes did go in. Teamed up with Malkosh from Unite. We met 19 months ago. That's right. And we had a meeting of minds. We view automation the same way and the potential and what it means and how we drive it forward. So we have the software. Malkosh has the know-how. He's done 24 years
of service management. Yeah.
Service management, contributing member of ITIL, member of the Service
Desk Institute.
Service Desk Institution, ran a BPO organization of 450 people until switching that to technical service management services in 2016.
Yeah.
And we've been working very hard for a long time to put all of this on a platform. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pretend we did this, but Malkosh did as a pre-launch. We've already got 28.
28, yeah.
28 customers on the platform. And I'll let Marcus talk all about it, even though I want to take credit for it.
Thank you. Thanks. How do you work this? The green. So, as Eric said, we started working together beginning of 2021. Up until that point, we had a platform, which was the first attempt at a robots as a service platform, which was a true consumption-based platform, allowing customers to utilize robotic process automation without any need for infrastructure, license, or commitment. And today, the platform is basically a robotic process automation, intelligent document processing, communication mining, machine learning, digital assistant, platform that allows all those technologies to be used on a consumption-based basis. So you can use the RPA environment, pay at the end of the month for the number of minutes you used according to SLAs, which basically means however many robots we need to deploy, we deploy that according to the SLA. The same with the intelligent document processing, pages per month, with communication mining, how many interactions, with machine learning algorithms according to the pricing, digital assistant, again, according to interactions. It's a complete pay-as-you-go intelligent automation management platform. This is an example of the process that the platform allows you to do without any investment in either infrastructure, licensing, or centers of excellence in any of these technologies. It really is there to be able to drive automation, to leverage further automation for organizations, and really be able to ensure that we are transforming processes using all the potential automation technologies to drive core processes. And for example, this is one process that uses intelligent document processing to extract data from invoices either directly from FTP files or understand if there's an invoice attached to an email, so we have communication mining technology in there. Obviously, we're using RPA to be able to onboard that data onto systems. We're using a digital assistant, so vendors can ask whether those invoices have actually been received, when the payment dates are, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of different technologies on one platform. Not only are we providing the execution for that, but the platform allows you from a single source to be able to see what the real-time status performance is. So you can go in there, you can see what the SLA for this process is, how many transactions have been done, the average transaction time for those processes, exceptions, whether business, user, or system exceptions, and really drill down into the detail of an individual process. Further, on top of that, we've brought our heritage of 24 years of service management onto this platform. So it's integrated with ServiceNow, so you can click onto that, you can see if there's an incident, where the incident has arisen, when it arose, so there's all OLA and SLA. When we onboard a process, we onboard it together with a service catalog. So within the organization, whoever is responsible for all the components underneath the automation is made aware that that automation isn't working, that there's a service or an OLA running, and to ensure that that process or that outage is addressed as soon as possible so this process is back on and adding value. In summary, it's a platform that allows you to have no license commitment, no infrastructure commitment, no term commitment, no center of excellence in-house managing or supervising that infrastructure. It's driven completely by SLAs, both in terms of the service management as well as the production. As I said, we scale workforces automatically with C2 according to with C2 according to the SLAs. So it doesn't matter how many workers we need, we deploy that on Azure, and we ensure that those are done according to the SLAs. And at the end of the month, we bill the customer according to consumption.
Before any questions, all of this, this will help us immensely building out C2 Core as well. Mm-hmm. So all of the technologies and vendors we add to this platform will, 90%, I guess, now, will also be available through our portal or directly to you through interfaces. If you want the consumption model, if you want it all done and you just want to make automation super easy and focus on fixing your problems without having to struggle with the operations, and if security, IT security allows for it, C2 Squared is, in my view, a huge game changer in the automation market. And I can't wait to help the world automate more.
Yeah, likewise. Likewise.
Questions? Easy ones first? No? Excellent. Cool. Yeah?
Please.
Why no center of excellence structure?
Well, when I say the center of excellence, I mean specifically the management and monitoring around the workforce. We provide all the visibility and we provide all the infrastructure. So at the core level, we have the workforce. On top of the workforce, we have RPA Supervisor. That's integrated with ServiceNow. And as I said, we onboard with a service catalog. So everybody that you would typically have for the operation side of the center of excellence is managed by us. It allows you, for your staff, to actually go and drive automations. The great thing about RPA Supervisor and why we're built around it is because, first of all, if anything isn't working according to the SLAs it's identified, raises a trouble ticket within ServiceNow. And our work as C2 Squared is to ensure that we alert you that there's a breakage, we alert you where the breakage is, who's responsible within the organization to fix that, and ensure that you have visibility into where that process is. Also with change management. If there's a change that needs to be done in the process, we alert you on ServiceNow for the change management process, who that's on, what their responsibility is. And you can drill down into there and see exactly what they're doing, what the status is of the change, and all that visibility is out of a single screen. So as Eric said, with the portal, you'll be able to see from one single pane the entire history of your automation as well as the health of the automation environment as well.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you finally.
Does it mean that you are able to start the virtual machine dynamically?
I'm sorry.
Does it mean that the solution that you are able to start the virtual machines dynamically and assign the license you need?
Yeah, we dynamically scale on Azure. So if, let's say that you have a process that you have an SLA of, let's say, 5 minutes, and suddenly we get a burst of those processes, we assign workers on Azure and dynamically boot them using RPA Supervisor, do the automation, then spin those machines down.
C2.
So I'm so sorry. C2, I'm sorry.
So only one last question.
Please.
I was wondering, does it mean that the cost of having 50 robots running 1 minute is the same that having 15 minutes a robot?
Yeah, you just pay for the minutes. So the total number of minutes that are used, regardless of whether it's 50, 100, 1,000, you're paying for the total number of minutes. We will ensure that the workforce, according to the SLAs that you build on that process, are there delivering that process. So if it needs to be parallel process, yes, then we spin them across. If it's queue-based, then obviously it'll be on 1 or 2 workers depending on the queue. But if they all need to be done at the same time and suddenly we get a burst of them, let's say we're doing a marketing campaign for a telco, and 9 o'clock on Monday morning, suddenly there's a huge burst of customer-requested top-ups, then yes, those workers will be available in parallel to be able to do those processes.
Cool.
I understand the question, because it's incredible.
Yes, it's really good. Thank you.
And it starts out, if you need 5 minutes a day, start with that, and then you go. And if you need 5 minutes on Mondays...
And Marcus, you can see that as well, by the way. You can see that live. You can see on the reports how many workers there are, the SLAs, up to the individual process. Not just the SLAs on the overall process, but on the individual transactions as well. So how long it took to do the overall batch, and how long it took to do the individual process as well.
And I just want to repeat. So as part of this, I mean, everything except for the RPA licensing, we can help you set up in your own cloud or on-prem, but you would still have to own it and manage it. And for now, you would just have to pay all the licenses, whether you use them or not. But this is the perfect showcase of what C2 can do for every one of you, if it's on-prem or in the cloud. Sorry. James?
Yeah, I'm probably going to ask a question I already know the answer to, but I thought it might be beneficial for the others. Is there a particular profile of client or a particular profile of process that would benefit from the platform more?
Of those almost 30 customers we have, we've moved customers from on-premise to C2 Squared, predominantly for the reason that they're not getting the efficiencies in-house that they require from their on-premise licenses. Second, the management. And third of all, most importantly, some of them, for example, we just moved on a large hospital group, one of the largest hospital groups in Turkey, 35 hospitals. The reason why they moved from automation only onto the platform was because they were getting peaks at specific periods in time, which didn't really warrant efficiency within the workforce or upgrading and buying further licenses, but they needed to meet those SLAs. So we were able to help them without any further investment and basically ensuring that we could meet the SLAs of the processes, no matter what the number of processes were coming through.
Correct. I think the right answer is no, there's no profile. The obvious candidate that you look to first are the ones who are starting, the ones with huge variations in workload. But I don't think there would be a single customer that wouldn't have a positive business case on this. It's just such an appealing offer. And the fact that it opens up so many doors for driving automation to the next level and scale. Sorry.
Hi, Tim Olson from Hayes. The example that you showed on the slide there was a process passing through various different systems, which suggests a certain amount of process orchestration. So how is that process orchestration coded in? Is it a low-code GUI process, or is it through some other form?
No, we use, for the IDP side, we're using document understanding from UiPath. The RPA is UiPath on that process. We use Reinfer for the communication mining. We're currently using Dialogflow for the digital assistant, which is Google. So no, there's no low code in that at the moment. And that's all orchestrated with RPA Supervisor.
C2.
Sorry, shit.
Just another add-on question to that. If an organization already has, say, 200 robot licenses, what happens? Like, do you buy back those licenses, or they continue to pay for those and you're just helping them to efficiently use those licenses? So which is better for an organization, to start with you from scratch and then, use the license? Or
Well,
I think your concern for us is very heartwarming.
We take it on a case-by-case basis. If it's a customer using a technology that's currently different from UiPath, so if it's Blue Prism Automation Anywhere, we can provide amortization on the license cost of the per minute fees to make sure they're not duplicating the license. It'll depend on a case-by-case basis. But we'd be interested in that customer.
Hi there. I've got a question around, obviously everyone's processes are very different. What are you doing in order to cater for that with regards to the differences in the process and the important elements of the COE with regards to tailoring it? Because obviously BPOs are still around for a reason with regards to the fact that it's not necessarily one size fits all, depending on the use cases. So is that built into some of the costs in the model?
Well, no, we have in terms of, first of all, the catering for the center of excellence side, as I said, when we onboard a process, no matter what how the process works, what different technologies it uses, we onboard it with what we call a service catalog. So we understand, first of all, what the points of failure are within the process, who's responsible within the organization or the vendor network, and ensure that they're all built into that process. Sorry, what was the second part of the question?
So yeah, I think if we have a look at the use case we're using around IDP, obviously there's a lot of differences with things like drawdown invoices that might be handled very differently depending on the client. So how are you building that into your workflow? Is there the capability to adjust and rather than it being a single commoditized approach, do you have different flavors to deal with that?
First of all, we don't build. One of the beauties of the platform is that it allows you, the partner network, to utilize your existing resources to actually develop processes or migrate processes that are on here. So we don't build the processes. We allow you to build the processes according to your best practices.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
Hello.
I think, that's a good question. I mean, it's not the process itself. It's managing the tasks. It's managing the series of tasks into an end-to-end process and the infrastructure. And that's the.
That can change, though, I think, based on the process that you're managing.
Oh yeah, that's individual.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The beauty is it works with ServiceNow. So the intelligent workflow around ServiceNow maps on to the service catalog. So let's say that, for example, that the confidence level in the IDP is too low. It'll open an incident in ServiceNow. That'll go straight to the customer, say the confidence level's too low on this document, attach the document to an email, send it back to either a human in the loop or the customer to say we couldn't process this invoice. So it's the workflow within ServiceNow allows you to customize that response however you want.
We're in dialogue with one other vendor for IDP. And discussion is they can only charge if the confidence level is high enough for the customer to accept it. So that's a good one.
Hi, I'm wondering how long does it take to onboard a new customer onto this platform on average, and whether there is any minimum size where you would say, yes, this is worth doing, or, well, this is too small and we are not going to do that?
To onboard a customer, it's immediate. We give you access to the platform. You have if you want to do developments yourself, you have your studio environments, or if there's a process you've built, we go through the UAT test and onboard it within a day. So it's fairly quick. Regarding size, no, we would advise the customer against a process that we thought didn't add value to us or to themselves. But to this date, no, we've got processes that are running with significant transactions and those that aren't.
So we won't have a lower limit on that because it would all be transacted through partners. So it's a partner that has a managed service offering. We're just doing all the hard work behind and providing the software. But if you think it's worth doing it with someone that needs 1 hour of processing time every day, then that's what you do.
It's priced according to scale as well. So your price per process reduces according to the number of transactions.
Hi, gents.
Oh, yeah, you're on.
Love the name.
Thank you.
If the client demands it or asks, is it possible to host the service with the data residing in the UK?
Yeah, yes. We're actually we work in the UK with a food company in the UK, so it's in Azure, UK at the moment. Yeah.
I'm glad you had the question session.
Similar to the question around customer profile, is there a systems profile in terms of thick client on-premise applications? Is there certain things you want to stay away from, or are you open to anything with VPN connectivity and so on?
So long as we have VPN, yeah, open to anything.
But if you've got a VPN connection to VDIs on-prem, then the automatic scaling becomes difficult.
So, just a random question. Random question. If you've got, is it available around the world, such as, say, Australia, where we might be considering an alternative?
Completely random. Okay.
An alternative opportunity with a particular vendor for cloud. So, is it available in Australia easily?
Everything is easy. We're problem solvers, and we just see to it.
Is I assume there is Azure in Australia.
Yeah.
There is Azure in Australia.
Yeah, well,
we haven't got Azure in Australia. Okay. That's our problem.
We do. We can do.
Okay. Fine. We might be talking then. Randomly.
Any other questions? Well, Eric and Malcolm is going to be here all day and all evening, by the way. I don't know whether you know, after the session's finished today at 5:30, we've got a drinks reception literally just across the road. Not across the road, across the corridor.
That's why they're here.
Yeah, it's not for the presentations. Yeah, so we got drinks, we got canapes, and we got music. So I'm going to be DJing as well, believe it or not. So. But I've got some guest DJs amongst you as well, I hear. So there'll be a few others, not mentioning Stephen from Zurich, who's going to be behind the decks as well. But please, give a big round of applause to Eric and Malcolm.